You know what's truly stunning, not just the way a woman looks when she's young, but the way she carries herself when she's older. Beauty fades, but presence, character, and energy only grow stronger with time if you build the right foundation. A stunning woman in her older age doesn't just happen by chance. She's shaped by the choices she makes, the habits she keeps, and the mindset she holds onto. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 powerful things that make a woman unforgettable, magnetic, and stunning as she grows older. Confidence that doesn't beg for approval is one of the most magnetic qualities a woman can ever carry with her into older age. It's not about arrogance, it's not about pride, and it's not about walking into a room and demanding that people see you. It's about walking into a room and knowing that you don't need to prove yourself to anyone because you've already proven yourself to you. This kind of confidence is the kind that radiates from within. It's built slowly over the years, not on how many compliments you get, not on how many people clap for you, but on how many times you stood back up when life tried to push you down. A woman who is stunning in her older age is one who has stopped measuring her worth by the eyes and opinions of others, because she has learned to define it on her own terms. She doesn't look to a mirror to tell her she's beautiful. She doesn't look to validation to tell her she's enough. She carries it deep within her, and because of that, people are drawn to her presence without her saying a word. When you're younger, it's easy to chase approval. Approval feels like safety, it feels like love, and it feels like belonging. But as time passes, you realize approval is temporary. The same people who clap for you today might criticize you tomorrow. The same voices that once lifted you up might turn silent when you stumble. If your confidence is tied to them, then you'll spend your life on a shaky foundation. But when you build your confidence from the inside, when you stop asking for permission to be who you are, you create a steady strength that nothing outside of you can take away. That's why a woman who ages with this kind of confidence becomes even more stunning. Because while others chase trends, chase likes, and chase attention, she is steady, grounded, and unshakable. She's not moved by who notices her. She's moved by her own sense of worth. Confidence that doesn't beg for approval also means you know your voice matters without shouting to be heard. You don't shrink yourself to fit into spaces that were never built for you, but you also don't have to force yourself into them either. You simply show up as you are, and that alone is enough. People respect a woman like that. They respect the one who doesn't compromise herself to win over others, but instead sets the tone by simply being authentic. In older age, that authenticity shines even brighter because it tells a story. Every wrinkle, every scar, every line is not something to hide. It's a testimony to a life lived with courage. That courage creates a beauty that no amount of approval could ever give. This kind of confidence frees you. It frees you from the exhausting cycle of needing everyone to like you. It frees you from the pressure of comparison. It frees you from the fear of rejection, because you've realized that the only rejection that truly matters is the rejection of yourself. And when you've accepted yourself fully, flaws and all, the opinions of others lose their power. You stop seeking approval because you already approve of who you are. That is where real confidence comes from, and that is what makes a woman so stunning as she grows older. Think about it. A woman who isn't begging for approval walks differently, she speaks differently, and she even loves differently. She doesn't love out of fear of being left, she loves out of abundance. She doesn't chase relationships to complete her, she shares her wholeness with others. She doesn't cling to people for validation, she chooses people who add to her peace. That energy is rare, and it's magnetic. It's the kind of energy that makes younger women look at her and wonder how she carries herself with so much grace, and it's the kind of energy that makes men respect her beyond physical beauty, because she's not performing for them. She's not auditioning for their approval. She's already living in her own acceptance, and that's where her power comes from. Over the years, you begin to realize that beauty isn't just what you see, it's what you feel when someone enters the room. A woman who is confident in herself without needing approval brings a sense of calm and strength wherever she goes. People feel safe around her, people feel inspired around her, and people feel challenged to rise to her level. She doesn't demand the spotlight, but she shines anyway. She doesn't need to prove she's enough, because her very presence already says it. And that, more than anything else, is what makes her truly stunning in her older age. A calm spirit that chooses peace over drama is one of the most captivating traits a woman can carry with her into her later years. The world today thrives on chaos, on noise, on conflict, and it constantly pressures people to react, to prove, to fight, to defend. But a woman who has matured into wisdom understands that not every battle deserves her energy, not every argument deserves her words, and not every provocation deserves her attention. She recognizes that peace is not the absence of conflict, but the mastery of her own response to it. When a woman has reached that stage in life where she chooses calmness over chaos, she radiates a quiet power that makes her unforgettable. She becomes the kind of woman people feel at ease around, because her energy does not feed negativity. It dissolves it. This calm spirit doesn't appear overnight. It is often forged through storms, heartbreaks, betrayals, and disappointments. A younger woman may have once reacted with fire, raising her voice to prove her point or chasing validation in arguments, but with time she learns that real strength is not in shouting the loudest, but in knowing when silence speaks louder. She realizes that drama only drains her spirit while peace fills it. The stunning woman in her older age carries this awareness, and because of that, she saves her energy for things that truly matter. She does not waste her life on petty arguments, on gossip, or on trying to control what she cannot. Her calmness becomes her crown, a sign of mastery over herself. When people meet a woman like this, they notice immediately that her presence feels different. She does not react impulsively, she responds with thoughtfulness. She listens before speaking, and when she does speak, her words carry weight. There is a maturity in her tone, a steadiness in her posture, and a softness in her expression that makes others naturally lower their defenses. This is not weakness. It is strength wrapped in serenity. It is the ability to walk away from unnecessary conflict, not because she can't fight, but because she refuses to let her spirit be disturbed by it. That level of restraint requires deep self-control, and it is that very control that makes her magnetic. Choosing peace over drama also means she has learned to value her mental and emotional health above the fleeting satisfaction of proving she's right. Many times, drama is an invitation to chaos, but she knows she doesn't have to attend every invitation. She doesn't chase closure in every situation, because she understands closure often comes from within, not from the other person. She doesn't seek revenge because she knows it ties her spirit to bitterness. She doesn't thrive on conflict because she knows conflict steals joy. Instead, she protects her energy the way a queen protects her throne. That protective choice makes her stunning, because it shows the world that she values herself too much to be pulled into the mud of trivial disputes. A calm spirit also creates room for deeper connections. People are naturally drawn to someone who can handle life storms without spreading the storm to everyone else. A stunning woman in her older age becomes the anchor in her family, the steady presence among her friends, the one people trust when chaos hits. They know she won't react in panic, but will bring perspective, clarity, and comfort. This role does not come from controlling others but from mastering herself. She has learned to breathe before speaking, to reflect before reacting, and to prioritize harmony over ego. That self-mastery not only blesses her life, but blesses the lives of everyone connected to her. There is also an elegance in the way a calm woman handles challenges. She does not need to prove her strength by shouting her resilience. She shows it in her patience, her composure, and her ability to keep moving forward. She doesn't collapse when others disappoint her. She doesn't explode when things don't go her way. Instead, she adapts, she learns, and she grows. That adaptability gives her a beauty that outshines external appearances. Her calmness becomes her glow, making her look radiant even when she speaks few words. It is the kind of glow that no makeup can create, because it comes from the inside out. In a culture that glorifies quick tempers, heated arguments, and constant confrontation, a calm spirit is rare, and what is rare is always valuable. A stunning woman in her older age understands that people will remember how she made them feel long after they forget what she wore or what she said. Choosing peace over drama ensures that what they remember is warmth, safety, and strength. It ensures that her legacy is not one of conflict but one of grace. It ensures that as she grows older, her beauty doesn't just linger. It deepens. Style that reflects authenticity, not trends, is one of the most striking qualities that sets a woman apart as she grows older. It's not about chasing what's popular in the moment, not about keeping up with what the fashion world says is beautiful, and not about trying to look like someone else. Instead, it's about knowing yourself so deeply that the way you present yourself to the world is a reflection of who you truly are inside. A stunning woman in her older age doesn't dress to impress others. She dresses to express her truth. Her style becomes less about imitation and more about identity. That authenticity makes her unforgettable because people can sense when someone is comfortable in their own skin. When you're younger, it's easy to fall into the trap of trends. Trends promise acceptance, they promise belonging, and they promise admiration. But the truth about trends is that they are temporary. What is considered stylish today will be outdated tomorrow, and if you build your worth around keeping up, you'll always feel like you're running in a race you can never finish. A woman who has embraced her own authenticity no longer chases those fleeting standards. She has learned what makes her feel beautiful, what makes her feel confident, and what makes her feel like herself. That kind of style never goes out of fashion because authenticity never expires. Style that reflects authenticity doesn't just show in clothing. It shows in the way a woman carries herself. It's in her posture, her smile, her gestures, and her presence. She doesn't wear things just because everyone else is wearing them. She wears what aligns with her personality and her values. She knows the colors that light her up, the fabrics that make her feel comfortable, and the silhouettes that highlight her best features. More importantly, she wears them with ease. There's no sense of pretending or performing. When people see her, they don't just notice her outfit. They notice her essence shining through it. That essence is what makes her stunning. The beauty of authentic style is that it grows with you. It evolves as you do, but it never strays from your truth. In older age, a stunning woman doesn't feel pressured to dress younger than she is, nor does she let society tell her what is appropriate for her age. She finds her own balance. She chooses pieces that make her feel alive, accessories that carry meaning, and expressions of beauty that celebrate the life she's lived. It could be a scarf that reminds her of a journey, a piece of jewelry that holds history, or a fragrance that feels like home. These little details tell a story, and that story is what captivates people far more than any trend ever could. Authentic style also reflects confidence. When you know who you are, you no longer need to seek approval through what you wear. You don't need to impress anyone, because you're already impressed with yourself. That confidence shines brighter than any designer label. A stunning woman doesn't need to announce her worth through logos or trends. Her worth is already visible in the way she carries herself. She chooses simplicity when it feels right, elegance when it feels true, and boldness when it reflects her spirit. The power lies in the choice, and that choice always comes from within, not from outside pressure. There's also something deeply inspiring about a woman who owns her authentic style. She teaches others that true beauty is not about blending in, but about standing out in your own way. Younger women look at her and realize they don't have to exhaust themselves trying to meet every fashion standard to be admired. Men notice her not because she's dressed like everyone else, but because she carries an aura of individuality. Friends and family feel her presence not just in her look, but in the calm assurance that radiates from her. She is a reminder that style is not something you put on. It's something that flows out of you in a world that constantly tries to dictate what women should look like. An authentic woman becomes a quiet rebellion. She doesn't let magazines, advertisements, or social media decide her beauty. She decides it for herself. That decision makes her magnetic. People can see when someone is dressing for acceptance versus when someone is dressing from a place of truth. One is exhausting and fleeting, the other is liberating and lasting. A stunning woman in her older age has chosen the latter, and that choice not only makes her beautiful, it makes her unforgettable. Authentic style is timeless. It does not fade, it does not grow old, it does not depend on seasons. It is the reflection of a soul that has chosen honesty over imitation, depth over appearance, and self-expression over conformity. It is the outward mirror of an inward peace, and that peace becomes the most stylish thing a woman can ever wear. Emotional strength wrapped in kindness is one of the rarest and most breathtaking qualities a woman can carry into her older age. Strength alone can be intimidating, and kindness alone can sometimes be mistaken for weakness. But when these two are woven together, they create a presence that is both powerful and gentle. A stunning woman knows that being strong doesn't mean she has to be hard, and being kind doesn't mean she has to be naive. She has lived long enough to understand that life will test you, people will disappoint you, and circumstances will break you down, but the way you choose to respond is what defines your beauty. Emotional strength gives her the ability to endure and rise, while kindness allows her to stay soft enough to love, forgive, and give grace even when life has not been fair. This balance doesn't come easily. It's often born out of seasons of pain, heartbreak, and loss. A younger version of her may have been either too hardened by betrayal or too vulnerable in giving away her heart, but over time she learns the art of balance. She realizes that true strength is not about shutting people out, but about setting boundaries that protect her peace. She realizes kindness doesn't mean tolerating disrespect. It means choosing compassion even when you could choose bitterness. That is why, in her older age, she becomes stunning, not because she has avoided pain, but because she has transformed pain into wisdom. She carries scars with dignity and lessons with grace, and she turns them into tools to help others rise. Two people are naturally drawn to this blend of emotional strength and kindness because it creates a sense of safety. Around her, you feel both protected and valued. You know she won't crumble under pressure, but you also know she won't use her strength to hurt or belittle. She listens with empathy, but she speaks with clarity. She comforts when you are broken, but she also challenges you when you need to grow. Her strength is not cold and her kindness is not blind. Together, they form an energy that people cannot forget. That is why she leaves an impression wherever she goes, not because she demands attention, but because her spirit touches hearts in a way appearances never could. Emotional strength, wrapped in kindness, also changes the way she handles conflict. She doesn't lash out in anger just to prove a point, nor does she swallow her pain just to keep the peace. Instead, she speaks her truth firmly but with compassion. She knows how to stand up for herself without tearing others down. She knows how to say no without guilt and how to forgive without losing her boundaries. That ability to hold power in one hand and grace in the other makes her shine in a way that time cannot diminish. It is the reason people respect her voice, because it carries both courage and compassion in every word. In relationships, this quality makes her deeply magnetic. She does not enter connections out of desperation, because her emotional strength has taught her she can stand on her own. Yet her kindness allows her to love openly and deeply, because she is not hardened by fear. She can be soft without being fragile, strong without being cruel. This balance makes her irresistible, not just to partners but to everyone around her. Friends feel uplifted in her presence, family feels supported by her steadiness, and strangers feel seen in her kindness. That is the mark of a stunning woman, the ability to impact hearts simply by who she has chosen to become. The world often glorifies toughness without tenderness or kindness without boundaries, but the woman who has mastered both walks on a different level. She doesn't need to compete with anyone because her power is not about dominance, it's about influence. She influences not through fear but through love. She inspires not through perfection but through authenticity. People look at her and see someone who has endured storms yet still chooses to smile, someone who has faced rejection yet still chooses to love, someone who has experienced loss yet still chooses to give. That is what makes her unforgettable, because strength without kindness can be harsh, and kindness without strength can be fragile. But together they create a presence that is both unbreakable and beautiful over time. Emotional strength wrapped in kindness becomes her legacy. It's what people will remember about her long after her physical beauty has changed. They will remember the way she stood tall without being arrogant, the way she cared without losing herself, the way she handled challenges with courage, and the way she treated people with compassion. They will remember that she was strong enough to protect herself, but kind enough to extend her heart. That balance is rare, and it's what makes her stunning as she grows older. A sharp mind that never stops learning is one of the most captivating traits that make a woman stunning in her older age. Beauty may shift, trends may change, and even energy may slow down, but a curious mind that keeps seeking knowledge, growth, and understanding never grows old. There is something magnetic about a woman who can hold conversations that spark thought, who can share wisdom that comes from both experience and learning, and who continues to challenge herself rather than settle into comfort. A sharp mind is not about knowing everything, it's about never losing the hunger to learn more. It's about refusing to let life make you stagnant, no matter your age. This constant pursuit of growth gives a woman a glow that cannot be achieved with makeup or clothing, because it shines from within from a young age. Many women are taught to prioritize appearance, to focus on how they look more than how they think. But a stunning woman in her older age flips that script. She knows that while beauty can capture attention for a moment, intellect can hold it for a lifetime. She doesn't depend solely on her looks to define her presence. She uses her mind as her greatest accessory. When she speaks, people listen not just because of her voice, but because of the depth behind her words. She invests in books, in conversations, in experiences, and in learning from others. Her curiosity keeps her relevant, keeps her engaged, and keeps her vibrant even as the years pass. A sharp mind is not limited to academics or formal education. It is the willingness to observe life, to reflect on lessons, and to apply them with wisdom. It could be learning a new skill later in life, exploring new cultures, staying informed about the world, or simply refusing to let old beliefs box her in. A stunning woman doesn't cling to the phrase, "This is how I've always been." Instead, she remains open to growth. She challenges her own thinking, she adapts when needed, and she evolves with time. This flexibility makes her not only wise but also approachable, because people sense her openness and humility. She doesn't position herself as someone who knows it all. She positions herself as someone who never stops learning, and that humility draws others toward her. The beauty of a sharp mind is also in the way it shapes conversations. A woman who continues to learn can connect with people of all ages, backgrounds, and perspectives. She can discuss ideas, share stories, and listen with genuine interest. Younger people find inspiration in her because she shows them that age doesn't mean decline, it means depth. Peers respect her because she doesn't settle into monotony, but continues to grow alongside life. Even those older than her admire her because she demonstrates that learning is not limited by time. She becomes stunning not just in how she looks, but in the way she makes people feel enriched after spending time with her. A sharp mind also protects her spirit. Life is unpredictable, and challenges never stop coming, no matter the stage of life. A woman who has kept her mind active and curious approaches problems with solutions instead of despair. She thinks critically, she weighs her options, and she makes choices with wisdom rather than fear. This resilience makes her stand out, because she doesn't allow circumstances to defeat her easily. Her ability to think clearly, to adapt, and to grow through every situation keeps her strong, and strength that comes from intellect has a quiet, captivating beauty. It's also important to recognize that a sharp mind keeps her youthful in spirit. Curiosity is like fuel, it keeps her engaged with life. While others may grow bitter or closed off with age, she stays open, interested, and willing to embrace change. She learns new technologies, she explores different ideas, she seeks out fresh experiences. This willingness keeps her connected to the world around her instead of stuck in the past. People who interact with her don't see her as old, they see her as timeless, because her mind keeps her relevant and vibrant. That vibrancy is stunning because it shows that beauty is not just about the body, it's about the mind that guides it in her relationships. A sharp mind makes her magnetic as well. She's not afraid of deep conversations, she values growth in those around her, and she inspires the people she loves to keep learning too. Her partner feels stimulated by her, her children or grandchildren feel proud of her, and her friends feel challenged by her presence. She raises the standard without even trying, simply by being someone who refuses to stop evolving. That standard becomes a gift to everyone around her, because it reminds them that the best kind of beauty is one that grows richer with time ultimately. A sharp mind that never stops learning turns a woman into a force of inspiration. It makes her someone who carries wisdom, curiosity, and insight into every room she enters. It makes her someone people want to listen to, someone people seek guidance from, and someone who leaves an impact not just with her appearance but with her thoughts, her ideas, and her perspective. That is why this quality makes her so stunning in her older age, because while everything else may fade, the brilliance of a mind that continues to grow will always shine brighter with time. Grace that makes others feel seen and valued is one of the most extraordinary qualities a woman can embody. As she grows older, grace is not about perfection, nor is it about living a flawless life where nothing goes wrong. Grace is about how you carry yourself through both the highs and the lows, and how you treat others in the process. A stunning woman in her older age understands that true beauty is not measured by how much attention she receives, but by how she makes people feel in her presence. To show grace is to offer dignity, respect, and warmth to those around you, regardless of their status, their struggles, or their flaws. It is the quiet ability to lift others up without needing to be elevated yourself, and it is that ability that makes her unforgettable. Grace is often misunderstood as weakness, as passivity, or as being overly accommodating, but real grace is none of those things. Real grace takes strength. It takes self-control to respond with patience when you could react in anger. It takes maturity to choose kindness when you've been wronged. It takes courage to make others feel seen when the world tells you to compete for recognition. A woman who walks with grace has learned that her value does not decrease when she helps others feel valuable. On the contrary, it deepens, because people may forget your words, they may forget your accomplishments, but they will never forget how you made them feel. A stunning woman understands this truth and practices it daily, turning every interaction into an opportunity to leave someone better than she found them in older age. Grace becomes even more captivating because it is refined by experience. This woman has seen enough of life to know that everyone is carrying hidden battles. She doesn't rush to judge because she knows the weight of struggle herself. She doesn't dismiss people easily because she remembers the times when she longed to be understood. She chooses compassion not because life has been easy for her, but because she has learned that bitterness only hardens the heart while grace keeps it open. Her presence feels like a safe space, a place where others feel acknowledged, respected, and valued without needing to prove themselves. That presence is magnetic, because true grace is rare in a world where so many are busy competing to be seen, rather than choosing to see others. Grace also shapes the way she carries herself in daily life. It's in her tone of voice, the softness of her words, the patience in her responses, and the way she listens with genuine attention. She does not interrupt to dominate conversations, she does not diminish others to elevate herself, and she does not need to flaunt her worth. She knows her worth, and because she is secure in it, she can freely extend validation to others. That is why people feel drawn to her, not just because of how she looks, but because of the way she makes them feel valued simply by being in her presence. Grace becomes her elegance, and elegance outlasts beauty. Every time relationships thrive in the presence of a graceful woman, friends feel supported, partners feel respected, children feel encouraged, and strangers feel welcomed. She knows that giving someone her full attention is one of the greatest gifts she can offer. She doesn't dismiss someone's story just because she has heard better ones. She doesn't brush off someone's pain because she has endured greater struggles, and she doesn't minimize anyone's achievements because she has accomplished more. Instead, she leans in, she affirms, and she celebrates. This ability to make others feel seen is what makes her stunning, because people crave acknowledgement more than anything else, and she offers it freely without expecting anything in return. Grace is also visible in how she carries herself during conflict. She doesn't lash out to win, she doesn't belittle to prove, and she doesn't hold grudges to punish. Instead, she seeks understanding, she maintains dignity, and she extends forgiveness not because others always deserve it, but because she refuses to let resentment consume her. That refusal keeps her radiant. It shows that her beauty is not only external but rooted deeply in her spirit. People admire her not because she has avoided conflict, but because she handles it with such elegance that it inspires others to do the same. As a woman grows older, Grace becomes her quiet legacy. It is the reason people talk about her long after she has left the room. They remember how she made them feel important, how she looked at them with genuine care, how she lifted them up with her words, and how she carried herself with dignity no matter the circumstance. Grace is not loud, but it is unforgettable. It is not demanding, but it commands respect. And it is not about being flawless, but about being deeply human in a way that reminds others of their own worth.